several reasons. I'm not much of a reader. I used to be when I was little. I used to read all the time. All the time. But then I discovered movies. So I wanted to watch the movie version of the books that I was supposed to read.
Yeah, they're faster.
Exactly.
But so many good books aren't
the big
movies.
reason, what?
So many of the really good books aren't even movies.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That, if they are movies,
they're
they so much.
Yeah, they're crummy when they make them. Yeah, I know. You're right. You're right. But the other reason, that's another big reason that I don't read them is no time. I don't have time. But I think probably the best reason is because, as you all well know, if you read manga and then watch the series doesn't always follow the manga. In fact, many times the characters are not the same. I've heard, so-and-so is not dishing the manga. Well, here's the news flash. We're not making the manga. I'm making it the anime. You know what I mean? I'm hired to act the character that's in the anime. So one of the dangers of reading the manga would be to develop an image of a character or an idea of a character and his relationship to the other characters, and then you go in to record the anime, and that's not the guy you're supposed to be doing. He's different in the anime. So rather than kind of send yourself off in the wrong direction, have a preconceived notion about a character that is different than the anime, the safest thing to do is to go into the studio and let the director say, okay, this is the character, this is their deal, this is their story, this is their relationship with the other characters, and have the director kind of help guide you in playing the role in the anime, not in the manga. I've gotten many emails from people. They're like, and you know what the one series is, most of all, is Tsubasa Chronicle. I get a lot of emails from people that are like, well, in the manga, Phi this and Phi that, Phi and Kurogane and relationships and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, you know what? God bless you. That's awesome. We're not making the manga. We're making the anime. And this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So sometimes when there are conflicts between the manga and the anime, it's best not to have the wrong impression or the wrong ideas about a character from the manga. And I really don't have time. I'm working on 5 different shows right now. I mean, it would be impossible to have any life if I read the mangas of the shows that I'm working on. Question? Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. It's a birthday coming up. What's your name? Zoe? You guys, how are your voices feeling this morning? Pretty good? Come here, Zoe. Come here. We have to sing to Zoe. Come up here. It's a Sunday morning sing along. Look at her. You're so cute. Zoe. Her name is Zoe. We're going to sing happy birthday to her, okay? Ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Zoe. Happy birthday to you.
Yay! How old are you going to be? 14. No signing. Yes.
I saw this story on the internet where you would talk about, you did that voice for Ed when he got punched in the mouth. You had to do the donuts in your mouth to get the sound.
Yeah.
Have you had to do anything more radical like that to get this voice just right?
More radical. Good question. I love to put stuff in my mouth. I like. Let me explain. Alright, forget it. I love it when characters are eating or they're doing something. I like to put food in my mouth to approximate the sound. I love doing that kind of thing. I love it when characters, you know how when they make that, when a character gets kind of pouty and they draw it like it's got this this kind of face with, they talk and they're talking like that. Well, obviously you can't really talk like that, but I love to, like, I'll go like this, oh, come on, you know, because there are subtle changes to your voice when you've got a mouthful of food, or when the shape of your mouth is, or when you're like this, if the character's like got his face on his chin, on his hand. All of those little things change the weight. Or like, what if the character's like, you know, and got their hand over their face? Well, that's going to change the sound. I love doing things in the booth that come as close to approximating what the sound should be as possible. I did, what show was it? It was Oron. Remember when Tamaki jumped in the water to save Haruhi? Remember she was going to fight the boys? Remember that?
Yeah.
He was like talking to her underwater, or he was saying something, if memory serves. There was a line. He said something while he was underwater. And we all know you can't really do that. I mean, you can't really talk, at least not in a way that anyone will really understand what you're saying. And I was really trying to figure out how I could do it. How are we going to do that? Because that wouldn't be real. So at first I was thinking, well, maybe I should do the little, but that would be too funny, and it wasn't supposed to be a funny moment. You know, there are so many things to take into account when you're recording stuff like that. When somebody's out of breath, when a character's been running or fighting, and as soon as they're done fighting, they're talking. And if you just, as a voice actor, if you just record like, what were you thinking doing something like that? That was stupid. Well, the viewer in their mind is thinking, he just got done like fighting really hard and panting and exerting himself. Wouldn't he still be a little bit tired? So as a voice actor, you try to think, what were you thinking doing something like that? That was crazy. You know what I mean? And you try to make it feel more like the way he would sound in that moment. And it's little teeny subtle things like that that make a performance better. You as the viewer might not even know what's missing. You know what I mean? You wouldn't maybe even be able to put your finger on it, but you know it doesn't quite work. It's so subtle. There are so many of those. It's like a difference between, like, if I was down here working, if the character is down tying a shoe or doing something on the ground, and as he's talking, he stands up, and as he's talking, he stands up and starts to walk away. No big deal, right? But it would be so cool to just subtly work in a little bit of effort when he gets up, right? So if I'm down like this, and I'm talking, and then as I get up a little bit, I just give it a little bit of effort in my voice. Did you hear it? It's very subtle. But what does it do?
Shush, sorry.
It ties the voice to the picture. It ties the voice to the picture. So I love doing those kind of things, whether it be donuts in the mouth, whatever. Trying to do anything I can to make the vocal performance match the physicality of what the character's doing, or how his face is, how his mouth is positioned, or how his body is. You know, you even sound different when you're like this, or when you're scrunched over a little bit, So I love that kind of paying attention to those kind of details. I think they make for a better performance overall. Yes. Yes.
Did you relate to any of your characters, like any way?
Well, I think probably the good actor response would be a good actor will find something about every character that he likes or can kind of identify with or lock into. Now, obviously, if I play a mass murderer, I'm not a mass murderer, and I don't really have anything to draw from. But there's usually some part of a character you can find, and you're like, yeah, okay, I get that, I understand, I can relate to that. And most actors will tell you that when they play certain roles, they try to pull from their own experiences to help them to help them make that feeling more real in their performance.